Welcome back to Backroom Convos. I'm your host at the most Lesego M Daddy Report, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. So today is a special episode. We have an amazing guest. I got to speak to her yesterday. So she's the Chula. She's from Rustenburg, Moruping. Her name is Precious, a 22-year-old entrepreneur who has her own business in jewelry. She does a lot of jewelry. She went to China, I think, a month ago. So we are talking to her a bit about her journey in jewelry manufacturing, hopefully distribution, retail later on. How are you, Precious?
Hello, hi, how are you? I'm good. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, can you hear me? I'm good. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. As I was saying, did I even pronounce Miruping the proper way? Is it Miriping or Miruping? Miriping, I
It's
think is the correct way.
Miriting. Yes, Miriting. Miriting. Yes.
Or like Miriti for like shadow. Stone.
Yes.
Miriti,
Yes.
Miriting. And I kept on saying Miriping. So I hope you're good, man. I hope you're good. So this episode, by the way, for the people that will be tuning in, it will no longer be airing on Wednesday, but it'll be airing on Monday. On Monday morning, this episode will be airing. So you've been facing a lot of like technicalities as far as like audio and connecting with Precious. But yeah, so I think first question, like I think I introduced you. I don't know if the way I introduced you is the way you would introduce yourself to people. How do you even introduce yourself to people?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Fitzfarello Precious GP. I'm a young entrepreneur from Rustenburg, Miriting. I'm actually a jewelry designer, or you can call me a jeweler, because I deal with jewelry. Thank you.
So yeah, jewelry designer. So tell me a bit about what a jewelry designer does for people who don't know what a jewelry designer is.
Okay, a jewelry designer is someone who deals with jewelry, who manufacture, design from scratch. And actually, we start from designing by sketching something maybe that I'm thinking or I saw somewhere as an inspiration. Then I take it to the bench and manufacture it to become a real thing. Maybe a ring or a pendant or a bracelet, anything that is jewelry. That's a jewelry design.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So from what I'm taking from this is that one thing, if you are a jewelry designer, you must know how to draw. Is that the case, or you can be someone with a vision and outsource the drawing part of it? Do you necessarily need to know how to draw as a jeweler?
No, actually, it's not about mostly drawing. But if you know how to draw, you can draw. Like myself, I don't know how to draw, but I can manufacture something from my head. Maybe I thought of something, then I want to take it out as a live piece. Then I start manufacturing it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always be a designer or like focus on drawing. No, it's not necessary. But some of it needs from sketching first till you'll make it to the bench.
Oh, okay. So like this, I know like this question is so random from me. Yeah. I was thinking
Yes.
about it now. You know, given the brand, so for people who don't know, Precious has her own company. She has her own company. It's Lekgarebe Industries. We are going to talk about that. So obviously, having to be the founder and CEO of Lekgarebe Industries, and the reason I'm bringing this question up again is to see if this is possible. I don't know if it's possible, but if it is, you'll indulge me on that. But the question that I want to ask you is, obviously, I'm not sure if you're familiar with people such as Matosa. So if
Yes.
you're familiar with Matosa, yeah, he tells the story of where he's from by by a way of design. I don't know if that makes any sense. So every out every outfit or every Makosa outfit tells the story of where Makosa is from. Right. So do you also have maybe perhaps a story to say, okay, like the story behind Lekgarebe Industries is this? What's the story behind? Maybe just give us a background story behind how Lekgarebe Industries was formed and just the behind the story. Let me just put it that way.
Okay. Lekgarebe is, first of all, Lekgarebe means a lady, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Lekgarebe, it came from, though I have my own grandmother who have this special ring that her husband gifted to her. So this ring, it means a lot to her, and her husband is late. So she always wanted to repair it, but she didn't have any fund to go and pay those people who do repairs for jewelry, and it might be expensive at some shops. So I did a research on how to solve this problem. So I
Mm-hmm.
researched and I found this course of it's course, it's art and design,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to college and do it. And I decided to open my own business because I wanted to help people who are around me in the community who can afford to
Mm-hmm.
go to these expensive stores where they repair or where they do jewelry. So since I've opened my business, it's easy for them to reach out, repair their most precious pieces, and redesign or new designs for them within affordable prices.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the Lekgarebe came from. It's actually, I was inspired by my grandmother.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yes.
So obviously, it's not easy. Being an entrepreneur is not a child's work. Like it takes a lot. So, like, what are some of the challenges that you faced as a female entrepreneur in the jewelry industry?
There are a lot of challenges. Starting a business is not an easy journey. You have to deal with
True.
clients. You have to deal with, do you have enough consumables, enough metal to do these pieces, because those things are too expensive. So you need to think on how to buy those things that you need. Being your own boss is not easy, to be honest. You have to
Mm.
have patience and believe in yourself. There are times that things are hard, but if you know what you want and want to grow your business, you will always stand for
Mm.
yourself and make a plan to work out.
Mm. But
Yes.
like what you're saying, I do resonate with because I also do have a few businesses of my own, right? So I do. So
Yes.
I wanted to ask you also this question. I wanted to ask you this question on how do you market? Like, what's the marketing model are you using to promote your brand in a way that it stands out to people?
Okay, I have a website for Lekgarebe Industry. I also have
Mm-hmm.
advertised in Facebook, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, and Twitter. That's the platforms that I use to advertise my pieces.
Okay, so looking at I'm sure the business is 1 year, 4 months, if I'm not mistaken. So, what are some of the lessons that you would give to an aspiring female jeweler? Is there any advice that you would give to them?
Okay, for any female jeweler who was also in jewelry business, an advice that I will give you is that always believe in yourself and don't let anything come before your way. just because you are a woman. There are challenges that you will face out there that people will make you feel like you are not enough. But mostly, you should stand for yourself and believe for yourself. Be your own boss and remember where you came from.
Mm. Okay, no, I
Yes.
hear you. So, I'm just going to like divert from some of the questions that we have here, right? So
Yes.
I know, Hore, like for me specifically, whenever I face challenges, I always have that moment to breathe and like pray and speak to God, or like, but you know, I'm going through this. Can you see me through whatever challenge that I'm facing? Do do you have a similar module where you like, okay, it might not be God, it might be whoever is in your life, maybe your siblings or whoever. Do you have maybe a what's the model that you use to take care of your like sanity? Because there's a lot that's going on, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of stress. Like, how do you balance that out?
Okay, yes. Honestly speaking, I believe in God. So whenever I face bad challenges and everything, the first person to talk to is God. And you ask Him to guide you and heal you and make you see the way on how to solve your
Mm-hmm.
problems and all the challenges. So I always put God before everything, because like
Mm-hmm.
we in the world, you can't just trust anyone, Jay, because of you think this person will change your life. But I believe that it's always God. Even if there's a person who can help you with your business or anything to make you succeed, but anything, it's God, no matter what. Yes.
No, I hear you. So do you have? I don't know, Robin. I'm just asking this question. Like, I didn't ask you yesterday, right? So, like, do you have any memorable piece that is unique that stood out to you to say, like, I wanted this piece. This is one of one. Like, this is like the ultimate for me. Like, do you have a piece that you can go back to and like say, or like this one is the one?
Yes, I do, and I just made it 3 weeks ago. It's one of
Mm-hmm.
the new collections that I added. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided to make something new. So it's earrings and a pendant. It's a what do we call this? Kera gamer. I forgot this name. It's a set,
Okay.
a green stone. So that piece it's unique. I made it for a woman who believes in herself and a woman who went through a lot. A woman
Mm-hmm.
who will always make sure that every challenge that she faces, she will always put God first and she will always win, no matter how hard it is. So soon I will post it. I haven't posted yet, but I
Mm-hmm.
made it. Yes.
Oh, okay. So like I'm just curious, or when I'm just curious, and like I just want to pass the question maybe to get an answer from you. Correct. I'm not sure if you follow like some of these big brands. You'd find already there's a Rolex. I don't know the name, Daytona, for instance, a Rolex Daytona, or an AP, an AP that has a specific name, or like, do your pieces also have names to say like specifically the piece you were talking about now? Do you also give them names to say, okay, like obviously Lekgarebe Industries is the one that's manufacturing, yes, but do you have like maybe for the timepiece, did you give them names? Or is it even
Yes,
necessary to give them names?
yes, it's necessary to give them names. I do give my pieces names so that it's easy for a client to know for a this maybe let's make an example. I made earrings, right? So I have to name this earring so that it becomes easy to outline. Okay, these earrings is called what and what, and it was made of what and from what inspiration. And after I name the piece, I also tell a story so that it becomes easy to motho o tlabeng a batla go e bona. Because every time when you just put a piece there, then you want to sell it. Like it confuse batho ba bontshe gore what's this? What made her do this earring? What inspired her to do such a
Mm,
design? Yes, so it's better to always give your piece a name and tell a story behind it.
feeling, yeah. No, I agree, fully agree. So, like, I also want to know if I don't know if this you do have this, but I'll just ask it anyway. So, if you could like design any piece for any historical figure or celebrity, who would it be? That one person to say like, if this person can wear my piece, I'll feel complete.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I always wanted to make a crown for
Uh-huh.
Mewarona at church.
Okay.
So
Like
I felt like
for people. So for people, let's just give context already, like a Mewaro Nekema, because there's people from Singapore, Swaziland, Nairobi, Kenya. So for people who don't know the Mewaro Nekema, can you just give us, like who's Mewarona and why do you want to specifically do it for her?
okay, well, how should I put it? Okay, well, she's our mother at church. She's our father's wife.
I mean,
So we call her our mother.
mhm.
And I want to make her that piece because the way I always see her, she's unique. She's beautiful. She's unique. And some of my jewelry, I want such women to wear my pieces. So I always look at her whenever I'm always at church. And I always picture, no, I want to make this beautiful crown for her that will suit her, you know. So it's one of my wishes, honestly speaking. It's one of
Mm.
my wishes. Yes.
That's interesting. I like like this is like I think this is I've seen her receive gifts. By the way, me and me Precious we go to the same church, so I do know what she's talking about, right? So like what she's saying to I've never heard what she's saying ever before, like and specifically from people because I think the only people that I've heard on this platform that me and them go to the same church. Obviously, we're still going to get summary. Summary is coming. Emmanuel Moshala is still coming. Besides them and Mpomakwani, and with that Mpomakwani, we never really touched on church stuff, right? So for someone to come out and say, I want to design a crowd, I'm like, well, like to me, that is like mind blowing or whatever. Like I can't wait to see that for you when I'm excited on your behalf. And I hope that dream comes true for you, Owen, because I see it. It's possible, Owen. It's possible.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I hear you. So I don't know. Like, can do you know what CAD is? What is CAD? I don't know.
CAD,
Yeah,
it's CAD design.
yeah. Well, what does that speak about? Like, if it's a kid, when someone speaks of a kid design, what are they talking about?
Okay, I only have a short information because I don't always focus on CAD design. But let me just give a short explanation. A CAD design is whereby you design with a
Oh,
computer. After you design with to make masterpieces or customized pieces. After you use a CAD design, that's where you will take the whole process and you will use.
mm-hmm,
There's this process that I've been busy with right now. It's called casting, where you do masterpieces, like a lot of pieces by casting. Maybe if I want a certain amount
mm-hmm,
of rings at a short
mm,
period of time, I should use that method of casting whereby I will get those rings at the same time without being in the bench. So yes, we start by cat, but sometimes it's not
mm,
necessary to do cat, but only if you do maybe customized jewelry.
okay. No, I hear you. Like, this is another interesting question. that I wanted to, that I just thought of actually right now. But since you're someone that's in like jewelry designer, like, do you ever maybe, I don't know, think about horror? Obviously, I don't know, this is me assuming horror. You're going to get married someday. Do you want to do the pieces on Lignano Lashao, or like what? Do you have that for yourself? For my wedding, I'm going to design the craziest ring, or like, do you have this, or the craziest jewelry, or timepiece, one of one for? Do you have that? I don't know. Like, this is just the question that I like. This is from me, or this is from me. Do you have that for yourself?
Okay, honestly speaking, I wish to design for my own ring and my future husband, but I can't design for myself. You know why?
Why are you laughing
Because
when if you husband?
no, I get a huggy deal for my future husband. So let me just say I can't design for my own.
Okay.
I won't take that much effort. I know. I will just say no. This is mine. So I will give
Why? Why?
someone. I will give. I will give. Okay, if I'm designing for someone else, that's when I become serious because no, this is my client. I need to be serious with someone. Like right now, I've got orders from someone who's getting married at church. So I have to focus on making their rings for the wedding, right? So I have to put more effort so that the clients might be happy and see that they didn't waste their money. So when it's myself, I have my own ring, but it's just for fashion. So I just did let me just do this in J for myself. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to give them to someone
Yeah.
else, give someone else a chance, to design for me. Because I also design for some other people. So that's what I want.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I hear you. So yeah,
Can you hear me?
I don't know what the problem is now. I think the Precious got cut. I think she has technical issues, but that was an interesting interview that we had with her. If there's any question you wish us to ask Precious, do leave them on the comment section. I am your host at the most, Lesego M video report,
Can you
aka
hear
Shoot
me?
Shot. And maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cargo, who is a guest that you want us to have on the show, and maybe, and just maybe, we might have them on the show. So yeah, this is going to be released on the Monday episode, the 11th of November 2024. It was a pleasure sitting down with you, and I hope that you took something from this interview, inspiration, and those who aspire to be jewelry designers. I'm sure this meant something to you, and I know at some point this might have not been audible, but I hope that you found something, one or two things that will help you with your journey in jewelry design, and for all the people that are pushing in whatever direction they're pushing in, bro. Like, I hope this story was also an inspiration to you and a reason for you to push and never give up in your dreams. And seeing someone as young as Precious push whatever she's pushing her brand, and not a lot of people are out here doing whatever, or like pushing their own brand, especially in jewelry. Not a lot of young people are in that industry, right? So I think partly that's why we also had her come through and do an interview with her, because that was like one in a million. It was like, well, like, not a lot of people entrepreneurs in like the jewelry sector. You know what I mean? So that was an interesting conversation to have with her. And by the way, for the people who don't know, Precious is 22 year, 23 years. Imagine the brand in 20 years time, in 10 years time, and we're speaking jewelry, and she's still the company is still you, the company is still you, and Precious is still growing, and there's still different elements. There are different elements to your business. You obviously, I want to support, I want to be a part of the people. When it is in the book someday, when I get married, maybe she'll get to design none of my pieces. We don't know, but that's if it's in the books for us to get married. I would like to do that, and I hope everyone took one or two things from there, So are we back now, Precious? Can you hear me now? Yeah. So like I was still speaking on like the people that wish to be or like be generally designers, and yeah, we're speaking about that a bit about that. So roughly, like let's put a rough number out. Ne? Let's put a rough number out. If we say, okay, we are designing the crowns for Mama, like roughly, how much do you think we would need to spend on that to say, okay, like we are creating or designing a gift? We don't know. You might find that there's a millionaire somewhere here who wants to sponsor the dream and make it happen. But how much do you think roughly we, why do I say we? How much roughly do you think you'll need to do that crown? No, that's not a lot though. Like 5K, like if you were to think about it, 5K is not a lot. Oh, and it's not a lot. So if roughly, this is like I'm speaking hypothetically more than it. If roughly I can put people together to fundraise that 5K, are you willing to do that design? Then you can present it to work. No, okay, no, that's great. I'll speak to people that I know. I'll try and pull something on. I'll try and do something. Hopefully it works out, and I'll come back to you with an answer. And for sure, to the people that are listening, for sure, I'll also give you an answer whenever or an update whenever this is going successfully. And like if I'm to project, if this should happen, it can be somewhere like April next year, if I'm able to pull the people together to come through and the design comes together, then yeah, probably next year, Pawan. And I'll be the people that are contributing towards that gift towards Mama. But I'll obviously be in contact with Precious, and I'll engage with some people who might be interested in being a part of this thing. So yeah, no, yes. So let's try and push it. I'm not sure, but let's try and push. I'll try and push from my end with the people that I know who can make this happen, and let's see what we can make out of it. Okay, cool. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I know, like, when I feel like you're a bit nervous because you're not saying. I'm saying I felt like throughout the interview, it feels like you're a bit nervous. Okay. So yeah, man, like it was a pleasure like having you. I know we didn't like really reach an hour, but we did it this minute at least. But bottom line, Gore, I'd really like to have you. Obviously, we are working towards. I don't know if I should put it out, but we are working towards making this, taking the audio podcast into like video, and having the visual, having the visuals. And I'd really appreciate if we can have another interview with you, or a sit down with you, and then have however long minutes with you, like speaking about jewelry. And before we leave, even let's talk a bit about your trip to China. Can we talk about that? Yeah, so obviously I know a little bit about your trip to China. So for the people who don't know, like, can you please break it down on how the trip came about? You have it? Okay. Okay. But do you see yourself? Do you see? I'm so sorry about the background. So sorry about the background. So do you see yourself ever going back to China independently, of course, just to learn some more about jewelry work or jewelry? So do you, yeah, you hope what? No, okay. So like, what's different about like what they have there and what we are still trying to develop in South Africa? Yeah. So yeah, you were saying. So yeah, I wanted to ask. I'm still on the equipment. I'm so sorry to disturb you. How long? Like I'm saying, the duration between China and South Africa, if they were to design the same piece, who's taking longer and why? Obviously, because of the machinery and stuff. China, I assume China would be the one that completes first. Is that the case? If they were to put you in the same room and the same person from China in the same room using these resources that where you from, which when are you from South Africa and they from China, they're using the equipment from there, and then you're using the equipment from here in sense. Who is going to complete first, or who is going to have a more unique piece? Like those people. So like, okay, I hear you. Like, what do you think is the requirement for like to bridge that gap in we have between South Africa and China? Like, what do you think we need to do to bridge that gap, to close it? Deep, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, do you feel like the government is doing enough? Given because if we to look at the jewelry industry in South Africa, it's thriving because you can see there's Voravats, there's what's that other brand? Lovisa, yeah, Lovisa is the other brand. So obviously, all those brands they're creating employment, and the government is taking tax with it. Do you think the government is doing enough as far as a resource to say, okay, like we as the government are going to make sure that we are closing this gap to get you this machinery as people or jewelry designer? Do you feel like they're doing enough to empower you guys? Yeah. No, I hear you. No, I hear you. So for the people who are curious, Vita is also a fashion jewelry brand which was launched by an Australian billionaire called Brent Londy. Yeah, Brent Londy is the chairman of the BP retail capital. The Lovisa is one of the companies under that franchise, right? So that's the name of the billionaire. And he's Australian, by the way. He's Australian for people who don't know. He's Australian from Sydney. And the Lovisa company started in April of 2010. For those of you who are curious, for more facts, you can just go onto Google and just research who Brett Blandy is, so you get all the information there. So obviously, we've been talking about the South African government doing enough, and obviously, we know everywhere, like in every department or like industry, like there'll always be a shortfall, or the government has a shorthand. They don't fully play the responsibility of the role they do have in society, even though entrepreneurs like myself and Precious as well, we do want to create those job opportunities. We do want to create opportunities not only for me and my family, but for every taxpayer, for everyone that benefits from the taxes, because everything that you sell eventually will get taxed by the government. And so the government will benefit in a way from what you're doing. And I feel like at some point, everybody has to play their role to ensure the success of FMMEs like yours, or like mine, even, you know what I mean? So I also fully agree on like not a lot is being done to make sure that, you know, entrepreneurs like myself and you and Precious are there to succeed. And I think for sure we might not have what it takes to be where China is at the moment, but a stepping stone would be maybe the government asking the right question. Okay, like guys, we see all these SMEs in this sector. How are we playing our role, and how are we being told to make sure like they get to the second phase of whatever that is in their business? So I fully agree with you, and I fully like wish you all the best in whatever future endeavor, whatever the future holds for you in the generic business. I wish you all the success in the world, and thank you for sitting down with us and talking about your business. No, I think so. If you were to say something to someone who wants to start their own business, what would you say to them? No, thank you for that. So, for those of you who haven't subscribed, please do that. And for our next guest, do let me know in the comment section who you would like us to have as our next guest. And yeah, please don't forget to follow us on every platform. I'm your host with the most, the Supper M Daddy Porn, aka Shoot Your Shot. And maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Let's meet tomorrow on another exciting episode of Backroom Convos with Lesego M. Have a good night. Cheers.